Hello, I'm Amber Uper, and this is a model kit review. And as you can see today, we have the mini art model of the 1/35th scale Soviet Railway flatbed, 16.5 foot, 18-ton flatbed. So let's take a look at this thing here. Oh, let's see here. Well, here's some. Let me take a look and see how well this looks. You can see the different paint schemes there. So let's take a look inside the box, see what we got here. Maybe I can keep it in front of the camera, that would be good. Okay, I've already opened this up and looked at parts and all that, so it's not all like it was in the, when it came. So there's a big pile of parts. So here's the instructions. And we might as well take a look at those first. These are really nice instructions. It's like a little pamphlet, or booklet I should say. So here's some of your paint, different railways that they were in use. It's like this one, unknown operator, USSR, 1930s and 40s. This one, Western Railway, USSR, 1939 to 41. Moscow-Kursk Railway, USSR in the 40s. You notice these all have the spoke wheels. Let's just go right to the back here. And here we are with the not spoked wheels, the solid wheels. And you have Kovel Railway, USSR, summer 1941. And then unknown operator in the 40s. And then Stalingrad Railway, 1942 to 45. So these are all different paint schemes and decal possibilities for this model. Okay, so now let's see what we got here. So here's your sprues, and some of them you have more than one of. And there's 2 of these, 4 of these, 4 of these, 2 of these, 2 of these, 4 of these, 2 of these, 4 of these. And then here's your decals that shows you. And this model also includes some photo etch parts, which they show here. And we'll take a look at those when we get to them. So let's take a look at the instructions. So here's your first set of instructions. And now this is one interesting thing about this car. It shows here how you can adjust the gauge of the wheels to either European gauge or Russian gauge. Now, Russian gauge is what they call wide gauge. It's 5 feet between the rails, whereas the European gauge is basically the same as the gauge in the United States. It's 4 feet 8.5 inches between the rails. And with this kit, you can gauge the wheels for either one, which I thought was rather interesting. And then that's your frame setup. And let's see here, then we got putting the decking on, the outer sideboards. And you've got your undercarriage, the springs and wheel journal boxes and all of that. Then you have 2 different choices for your wheels, whichever one you want to use. And then we get to the top details. So you're putting the sides on and these little parts here, which are the pieces that hold the sides when you flop them open on the real cars. Finishing up details, here's your buffers. Now the Russians had a different style buffer than the Europeans did. These are an open type buffer. They're not completely enclosed. You can see the springs in them. And then you've got the other little details, your coupling hooks, if you want to call it that. And then they show putting the railway together. And you get enough sections of track to display this thing nicely. So anyway, there's the instructions. They're really good. So now we get to the big pile of parts, and you can see there's a lot of parts here. Let me dig out. Here is, well, you know what? I'll move the box. Here's 2 of your sprues for your railroad. Now these ties are set up to Russian wide gauge. That's how you would build this. And here's these are the ties and a rail. Takes, two of these will give you one section, 2 rails and 10 ties. And your little details here. These are the fish plates to bolt the rail sections together with. And I think these little details here are just, yeah, they're sideways. Those are your little bolt details for the outside of the tie plate to hold the rail onto the tie plate. So you got that, and there is 4 of these. So you can build 2 sections of railroad to display your model. And then you have one of the big sprues here. This is one of the side frames. I think these are for the ends. Various little parts for your couplings. These look like the ends of the buffers. Half of the decking for the car. So there's that. I think this is the spring thing in the middle of the car. It takes up the shock of pulling when you take the slack out of the couplers, as they say. Oh, let's see, what do we got here? I took the wheels off of these 2, and here's the wheels. I was messing around with them. Here's the springs, and now what I was saying about the wheels. I don't know if you can see this or not. I'm going to stand up and see if I can get a little closer to the. Okay, so. Now what you have here is you've got a nub right there next to that, my fingernail, and then another nub right there. And the one that's closer in is what you index the wheel for the European standard gauge, and the other one is to index the wheel out further to Russian gauge. And if you look at this wheel, if you look at this wheel close, you'll see the notch right there that axle goes into. And so if you want to do Russian gauge, there you go. If you want to do European gauge, you have to cut the notch, this thing, the whatever you want to call it, you got to cut that off so that you can slide the wheel further on to engage this notch. So, but you don't have to do that if you're going with Russian gauge. So that's the wheels. The little short stubby axles there that go into the axle boxes, the journal boxes. And I've got one of those here. And this is the journal box. It's upside down. This is the journal box from the side. If you look at it from the front, the door will go on there. The front, the axle box door. And then here's the back where the wheel axle goes in. And just tiny little hole for the wheel, for the axle. And if you look at it, when you put the 2 together, I don't know if I can get enough light on this. It just goes like that, so you can see. Let's see if I can do this. You can see the gap there. There's just a little bit of the axle goes into the journal box. So there's that. Now let's take a look at what else we have here. Now here's 2 sprues with the older style wheels with the spokes. Like I said, these have both. Dig some more out here. Let's see. Reach through here, get my bag of stuff. Alright, so there's a solid wheel. There's another spoke wheel. There's a solid wheel. Spoke wheel. So you get 4 solid wheels, 4 spoke wheels, and you'll notice you get springs with the wheels. So you actually have 2 sets of wheels and 2 sets of springs. And I believe the springs that come with the older wheels are a little bit different than the springs that come with the newer wheels. It's not so much the spring as it is the spring mounting point here and here. And you probably can't see it on the camera, but there it is. And I'll hold it up here, and maybe the camera will focus on it. I don't know. But there, difference. So, I'll gather that up. Here's your sides, your upper sides. They, on the real car, they can be flopped over sideways to open them up. And then, let's see. Here is one of the sprues. This is your W, they call them a W iron, as you can see. This end attaches to the frame, and then the journal box goes through there, or goes into there. Let me see. Here's my journal box. And the journal box would attach to this like this. And then your spring sits on the top of that. And this attaches, from what I understand, it's actually this way. This is supposed to attach to the inside of the frame, and this goes on here. I believe that's how the instructions show it. I could be wrong. Once I get to the actual building it, then I'll know. And now, of course, it won't stay in there. There we go. Like that. Okay. So, and then here we have the two halves of one of the buffers. And I don't know what that is. It's just part of the frame of the car, I guess. And other little miscellaneous parts. And let's see. Another one of those. Should have 4 of these, because it takes 4. So yeah, here we go. There's 4 of them for those parts. Then we've got these parts, and this is the end buffer, or the end of the frame of the car, and this is the little thing that goes on top of the deck. It's the end instead of this, meets up with the sides here, which sit on top of the car vertically. And then, these little things here, which I'm not sure. I think these are the braces that when you open up the sides, they sit on these. I think. I could be wrong. And again, it's a matter of looking at the instructions to see how it works. And let's see here. We've got the other one. So there's 2 of these. The 2 halves of the deck. And side frame of the car. Side frame of the car. That may be out of the... Yeah, side frame of the car. The ends. So you got those. And then these are pieces for under the car. They're parts of the frame of the car. So the interior frame. Let me see. Maybe I can find a... Maybe. Should be able to find it in here. Okay. So if you look at that, and then you look at these, you can kind of get an idea. These pieces are probably right here, and these are probably your cross beams here. I'm guessing there's other cross beams for that are on the main, on some of the other sprues. But yeah, there's a lot of parts in this model. It's a rather nice model. So, and I think it will make up into a really good-looking flat car, or low-side gondola flatbed. So there you have it, the Soviet Railway flatbed 16.5. I assume this is 16.5 foot, 18 ton. That's my model kit review for this car, as produced by Mini Art. So thanks for watching.